Yeah. I got it from the dirt, out the mud.
Dang. Yeah, I would have put it up here for you. That's what I do.
I'm rolling.
What's up, people? It's your main man, PBM Louie, and this is the 10K report. To the far left of me, I got
Rico 10 stacks. It ain't easy what I make it look like, man. Talk to me.
To the right of me, I got.
You supposed to be my guy. I'm supposed to go before him.
Oh,
Yeah,
man.
man.
Come on,
man.
let's stop
Switch up
that
on the
today,
beat.
man.
Nah, his name's Naymec, man. What's up?
Yeah, and we got our special guest.
Let's get the drum roll. Hold on. Let's get the drum roll. Let's get the drum roll. Yes, sir.
Come on, special guest, Brett Walker. How you doing?
All right, how you doing, brother?
I'm great, man. It feel good to have you up here. A legend in hip hop. Not only in hip hop, just interviewing the BET history. Not only that, your model in history. We about to get into it all. We appreciate you being here with us. Once again, we just wanted to say thank you.
Cool, no doubt, man. Not a problem at all.
Yeah.
Or more importantly, being a black man, being a bridge in the industry.
Right.
At the time that
And being from
you were
Jersey.
going into it. A lot of people don't know, I'm sure. You want to tell them how old you are?
Yeah, I don't mind. I'm 60.
Woo!
He don't look 60.
Hey, yo, let's clap it up for that.
He don't look
Let's
60.
clap it up for that.
He don't look 60.
I'm telling my wife to stay away from this man. Don't look at this interview, man.
That's the real sugar.
know
Hey,
what I
I'm
mean?
saying. Then the time that you were going hard in the industry, I'm sure, like, in terms of television and media production and people of color, it was hard for us to break planes and get places.
It's always been hard. I mean, it's opened up a lot now because you guys being, the age that you are, you got social media. So that opens up the playing field tenfold.
Okay.
You know?
So what I wanted to ask you, because you are an influence in the industry and you had your time, how do you view the game as it is now in terms of R&B and hip hop? How has it evolved, and what's your take on it?
Well, I think it's I think everything has just opened up, just like I said, social media. Social media has done wonders for people. I mean, if I had social media when I was in the game, my followers would probably be through the roof.
Right.
But that wasn't the par for the course at that time. So it was just trying to get on and doing whatever you can to make it happen.
And another thing I wanted to ask you as broadcasters, you like you said, you like one of the pioneers in doing, what we're trying to do and what we develop into. What do you think is our social responsibility nowadays? You see what's going on with the cops killing us. You know what I'm saying? Not only rappers are speaking on different things. Maybe they shouldn't be speaking. Maybe they should. What's your opinions on it?
I think everybody's got to use your voice, man. You can't be quiet. Not at times like this.
Right.
I think if you see something like, I don't know, man. I'm kind of a hothead,
right?
Which is not good all the time. Now, if I was there and I saw that brother getting killed like that with his knee in the back, I would have did something.
Right.
And I'd be dead or in jail right now, for real, because there's no way that I could have sat there and let that happen.
Right. That's what people saying. Really, now is the time that we gotta do it. Somebody gotta be the hero for the generations to come.
Young people, the way that they came up. I'm telling you, I thought the younger generation was a lost generation.
Yeah,
I really felt that way. Before now, I'm telling you, I was scared of what the future was gonna hold.
We out here.
The thing is, I feel like it's enough conscious individuals of my generation that even for the ones that don't always follow it, they're not always going after what's right, or they're not always conscious of what they should be thinking about, because we can send information to each other like that.
No doubt.
It gets across, and it eventually, like you can see, it come to fruition.
Yeah, no, it's good. I mean, you got to hold each other accountable.
Right. Mandatory. It's like right now, the media age, from guys from my age to his, I'm 13, 14 years older than him. You're 30 years older than me. You know what I'm saying? So I obviously watched the transition happen from the 90s era to the early 2000s, even from 2010, as far as media, as far as interviewing, styles of interview. How did it change when you seen the transition? Where were you at when you were seeing the transition happen as far as social media?
I don't understand the question.
So you see how interviews change from now to the 90s, dealing with social media.
Right.
But I'm saying from your aspect, when you were doing interviews, so on and so forth, how did you see it change?
The way it's really changed is...
and where were you at when you seen it change? I'm sorry.
No, that's fine. Just like I said, through social media, because when I was coming up, you had to have a facility.
Right.
You know, it wasn't like I could just pull out my phone and just throw my phone up and because I ran into somebody I might have wanted to get this feed or whatever. I could do it right now. You know, back in the day, you had to sit down, map out a time and place, and then do your interview right there.
Damn. And the research, was it much harder because of no internet or?
No, not really, because there was always people in place. Like say you, we'll use Big for an example.
Right.
You know that you got an interview coming up with Big. You just contact the record label. They send you all the information. Just do your homework before you interview.
Like a press kit, basically.
Exactly.
A media
You
press
just do
kit.
your homework before your interview.
Yeah. So he just touched on a little bit of background. I mean, drop some names who you interviewed back in the day.
Which
They
we
don't
know,
really
which
know
we
your
know.
resume. You know what I mean?
But we gonna need the people to know it.
Yeah.
We did our research.
I broke Big, Craig Mack, D'Angelo, Deion Farris. I don't know if y'all know her, but definitely do your homework on that sister. Bad girl.
Dope.
Lenny Kravitz.
Oh yeah, you know we know him.
Man, so many. Jagged Edge. Man.
That's a hell of a list already.
A lot of people. A lot of. I interviewed Puff before.
Nice.
We was looking at some of your legendary interviews with Aaliyah.
Oh yeah,
that was crazy.
Yeah, that was a crazy.
Aaliyah's
time.
beautiful. What's her hands soft?
I
love her.
Was her hands soft?
And to be honest, and shed some light on it, I was fired up at that interview.
Right.
Okay.
Because I knew what was the backstory between her and R. Kelly.
Right.
And it just didn't sit right with me.
Right.
Did any of that transcribe onto the video?
No, because this was my first take on how the media can control things. Meaning, like, before BET, my producers and stuff never really checked my questions or anything. I mean, sometimes they wanted to just look at it just to see what kind of questions I was asking or anything like that. And that's fine. But, man, I'm losing my train of thought. I'm sorry about that.
Yeah, so the interviews and everything is.
You were saying how you kept your head. It wasn't transcribing onto the video.
Right. I knew when he brought Aaliyah on that there was a backstory to that. And when I do interviews, I'm not jocking anybody.
Right.
Like I have to take a certain stance.
Okay.
And it's a neutral stance.
Right.
You know?
Okay.
And then I have to, for what I do is I try to ask questions that I know people want to know.
Right.
You know, so I try to keep it 100. I don't even give them anything in the beginning. Like I would usually go to the green room. When they come in, they usually go to the green room and chill out. I go in there to break the ice just so we can kick it a little bit.
Right.
And then I come out and we start our interviews. But this time, before the R. Kelly interview, they had pulled me and Big Les to the side and told us certain questions we couldn't ask.
Oh, man.
And I was like,
what?
This the age ain't a number, just a number error?
Yeah,
Okay, all right.
Yeah. And,
That was early. You got him early.
Yeah.
Wow.
This was her coming out the gate.
Right.
Early. And I was like, I don't understand. Like, this interview, why? How come we can't answer certain questions?
Right.
And they said, we already made an agreement with the record label that we wouldn't ask this X, Y, and Z. And
Defense was the offense.
exactly. Then
Damn.
you bound then.
So they just know.
They knew.
They know what's up.
And, you know, we don't want to speculate on that. That's a tough topic anyways.
Yeah, no
You know
doubt.
what I'm saying?
Word.
But, I mean, when it came down to it, what did you break? Like, how did you actually, I want to know exactly how you met certain people to actually get on that platform.
Yeah, like,
Who
how
was
did
your
you-
gatekeeper, like,
Right.
you know, at that time?
I created my own, really.
Oh, okay.
I'm from Newark. I grew up in Newark.
Talk to him.
Okay.
Grew up in the projects down the Ironbound area.
Yeah,
Higher
right.
Court.
Higher court.
I just always
Big G's.
felt like I wanted to do more, you know?
Right.
So when I came out of, I went to high school, went to college. When I came out of college, I just wanted to do something else.
Right.
So I started modeling. I did that for a short while. As I was modeling, I used to see Bill Bellamy doing MTV.
Right. And he's from Newark. too.
Right. And I knew Bill.
East Orange, yeah.
So I was like, damn, I could do that, you know? So I had to start generating stuff and, you know, trying to get my ducks in the line.
Right.
So I had friends who were actors and writers and things like that. So I just called one of my friends. I asked could I interview him? He was like, yeah. I sat down with another friend of mine that was from Comedy Central. I told him what I wanted to do as far as making a tape and stuff. So he was like, all right, let's do it. We ended up going to New York. I just pulled my friends together. We went to New York. We found a little backdrop someplace, shot an interview right there, did my interview, did my ins and outs. My boy took the tape, put it all together for me, and I just started shopping myself around.
Oh, that's dope. It was a totally different time because nowadays, just to see anybody, we just throwing it right on the internet. We taking little videos from our phone, putting it right up. And I remember the tape era. You know what I'm saying? Remember guys used to dub tape? I remember watching BET or maybe the box when we were younger.
You said put a little piece of toilet paper in there.
And we used to record the tapes and the DVD and all that stuff. It's crazy. For you just to hear you talk about it brings back.
What are y'all talking about?
You don't know nothing about this, Rico.
What are y'all talking about?
Stay in your lane, Rico.
What are you talking about?
We talking about analog.
I had to call his dad the other day,
You
right?
said what?
I showed him a picture of the locks in DMX. I said, you know these guys?
You airing stuff out on the air.
Who these guys were? I couldn't believe. I said, you don't know who the locks in DMX?
We was looking like,
I know who they are.
I just didn't know that the Locks was a group.
I didn't know they was a group. What's wrong with you?
I
said, man, let's jump on.
Sometimes you don't experience it.
Right. So how was it? How was the difference between you doing interviews to you modeling? Was it still like the same industry? Because I want to know how they fit.
Yeah, no, it's pretty much the same. I mean, it's not anything that was difficult. Like I said, you just have to form your own style of interviewing and what you want to accomplish. I think going into an interview, you should have that already in the back of your mind coming in. I even used to have like 3.5 by 5 cue cards, like index cards.
Yeah, right. Now we got our phones.
I would write questions on those and just flip through them.
Right.
But when you do interviews, it's like the whole key of doing an interview is to listen.
Right.
And the reason being is you can have 5 questions. In those 5 questions, they could turn into 15 just by you listening.
Right.
You ask a question during the time that you're talking, they're going to say something that you're going to want to know, something that's informative to you. You just come back and ask them another question.
But do you got to do this? Is another question I wanted to ask you, right? So, being that anybody can start up a podcast anywhere, anytime, and they're not professional,
right?
And your background, you're real professional, the steps you took to get there, so on and so forth. Is it like any type of resentment?
No.
You know what I'm saying? Because of how quick they get on and how much work you really had to put in.
Yeah, no, not really. It's just par for the course. It's just the times that you live in, you know? You just got to be thankful. Even like me breaking into the modeling industry. I knew I knew some cats that was in it. My older brother used to do it.
Right.
And that's who turned me on to the modeling industry. And then there was a brother at this time. His name was Renald White. He's from East Orange, actually. He was the first brother I seen with a mustache. Always had a mustache. And I really, really liked this dude. So I basically marketed myself right after him.
That's
you know what I'm saying? I just watched everything he did.
Somebody locally.
Yeah. And I just tried to get in the game the best way I could. I met somebody and they helped me get some pictures done. And then I just beat the pavements, man. I just started going in New York and finding out where the agencies was and knocking down doors.
How many years did it take for you to really like get your first big break?
Not long at all. I was lucky. I got pretty lucky. I mean, I had billboards all over the city.
You in a couple magazines too, right?
Yeah,
you was in Ebony.
I've been on the cover of Essence before.
Essence, right.
Did a lot of stuff.
Newports.
Yeah.
So you was getting the Jones, huh?
Yeah. A lot of women.
Got the ladies. Speaking of her.
Stop tucking on my silk drums.
I'm saying, I saw I watched the Lil' Kim interview.
All right.
I think she was feeling you a little bit. You know what I mean?
Yeah. She was crazy as hell.
Oh, yeah, she was crazy.
That's that Brooklyn.
Yeah, but she was mad cool. But that's the type of interviews you want. You want people to feel the airwaves,
Right.
You don't want to have to be pulling teeth with people, to get them to talk or open up.
Yeah, and as you said, you was at BET at that time. So I know BET was a wave because we didn't have anything outside of that.
Yeah, so
you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I just want to know because I ain't shit. I'm gonna tell you right now. I want to know what them parties used to be like because it was down in DC, correct? Yeah, it was down in DC because I know a couple of people like they aunts and uncles used to work down there and stuff. And I know the parties over there by Howard University used to be crazy. I know they had to be. Off the chain. I know they had to.
Yo, I'm telling you, man. In
Could you get
DC,
any
always
details?
been known as
Facts, I'm
Chocolate
trying-
City.
Can we get into
the
the
go-go?
details?
I'm
boys?
trying to reminisce.
Can you
like,
reminisce a little bit?
I need you to paint a picture for
we
me.
want to be there.
The viewers want to know. They just hit me just now.
I do a segment every week called Gang Talks, right? And I describe some crazy scenarios sometimes that I've been in with certain different people, and it's real descriptive. We want you to give one of those.
I'm
If
not
you
telling.
He like, I don't know where this
Yo,
is gonna
I
land.
ain't gonna lie to you.
Not
You
telling.
know he
Where
know
is
this game.
Look, he know the game.
He know the game.
He know it. He ain't even fall for none of that.
He know
They're
the
trying to
game.
make me
I'll tell you
somersault
one
into
little
shit.
thing, though.
Oh, wow.
Like when I first met Big, right?
Okay.
When I first was interviewing Big, I interviewed him at Planet Hollywood in DC.
Right.
And I interviewed him and Craig Mack actually the same day because their records was dropping actually. At
Yeah,
the
there was a
same
bulk deal, the Big
time.
Mac.
Exactly.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I forgot
Yeah.
about it. Was when we was younger.
Yeah.
93, right? 92.
Yeah, so they come in and Big is, he's like, yo, what's up, man? And he used to always call me GQ.
Yeah.
So
You're a funny nigga.
and Faith told me that. Faith told me. So we go to the bar and it's like 12 o'clock. It's 12 o'clock in the afternoon. He's like, yo, give me 2 shots of Hennessy. I was like, dog.
12 o'clock now.
I was like, nah, I'm good. Man. He's like, you gonna make me drink by myself? I was like, if you got to, I was like, I got work to do, man. So we do the interview and everything. So we get finished the interview. So Big's like, come on, man, let's go out to the limo.
Right.
And I was like, all right, we go out to the limo. We get in the back seat. He pulls out the ashtray. He got about 5 blunts sitting in the ashtray.
Sitting, chilling,
God.
ready.
Come on, son, get busy, man. Don't be sitting there like you're shy. God. It's just like, well, I'm looking around, see if any of my producers around. Yo, Big was the truth, man.
That's what's up.
That's
That was
dope.
my man.
So, are you in any relationships right now?
Nah.
All right. So, young and
This
single.
guy's gonna be.
Names-
That's Uncle right there. That's my uncle.
Keep it moving.
So as you as you just said, you was on the cover of Essence. Faith Big was calling you GQ. We
was
know
that
you.
guy.
We know you was that guy.
Yeah.
How are you balancing any women, any relationships? Are you taking women seriously throughout the time? Did you have any real relationships?
Yeah, I was in and out of a lot of relationships at that time. It's just funny how things affect you. You never know how they're really gonna hit until you get in it. Like when I started modeling, I was saying to myself, like, damn, been meeting all these fine ass girls, blah,
Right.
blah, blah, And once I started modeling, I really wasn't turned on by them chicks,
Exactly.
I mean, a lot of, I don't know, I like voluptuous women.
Yeah, me too.
Shapely women and
beautiful
stuff.
women.
A lot of the models, they might
Lord.
be pretty, but they like 6
Yeah,
o'clock.
yeah.
They like
so-
6 o'clock.
It just really
pounds. That's not really my
wasn't
thing
really
either.
too
Right.
much, going on for me then. I mean, I dipped and dabbed, like I don't know if y'all know her. The first person I ever dated in the industry was Shari Headley. You remember Coming to America?
Yeah, remember come to
Yeah,
America.
yeah.
Remember the girl who married Eddie at the end of the movie?
yeah.
That's Shari Headley.
Oh my
Ooh,
God.
he had the
Lord.
Yay.
Lord.
She was mad
Give
cool
it-
though.
yo.
I had her in the projects and everything.
And how long you was with her for?
He said I had on a
About
project.
a year and a half.
Oh, this
About a
was
year
your
and a
lady.
half. Yeah,
Y'all was doing some
We
things.
was flowing.
Do
at
you
that
think
time.
the industry affected all the relationships you had while you was in it? Or was it just
No,
you?
not really. I think sometimes you just got to learn how to separate things.
Right. Do you think just to be in a position that maybe that you wasn't at that time, or maybe one of your biggest rappers right now, or your biggest media person, you think it takes a lot of sacrifice
Definitely.
to get there?
Definitely.
And is that sacrifice personal as well?
Yes.
Like, you know what I'm saying, with your loved ones,
Yeah,
your
because,
children, your woman.
a lot of people think that getting on is easy a lot of the times,
Yeah.
Right.
It's not. And a lot of the times the things that you think that can work for you can work against you. So it's not here nor there whether it's gonna happen. You just have to be aggressive and believe in you.
Right. Right. That's good. That's a big thing. We trying to move this podcast forward, so on and so forth, and we sacrificing a lot. We're seeing a lot of different things with our family, ladies, new relationships. I know you might got experience in that, so just to hear you say those things.
Yeah, no,
I
it's
mean,
tough out here,
solid
man. Y'all are young. I don't know if you guys have children.
Yeah, I do. I
and
got
stuff
children.
yet,
We both do.
But you gotta be careful in these streets, man.
Right.
Young brothers, man, you just gotta watch yourself, man. You don't need things holding you down at an early age, man. You gotta get out and and do things and see the world and see how other people live just to help yourself grow.
Yeah, we was just having a conversation about Future.
Yeah.
And
ask him.
How do you feel about a young lady that...
Hold up, names. Don't just ask him that. I already see you about to be real biased. He biased.
Biased.
Right we gonna play it out.
Let me tell you something. Black fathers matter.
This dude. So look, we about
to give him the unbiased.
We about to give him the unbiased speech, right? So ask him names unbiasedly. Start and let him know what he got, what he made, what he in the process of making, and what he made last year.
I don't pay attention to people's pockets.
I'm saying,
so you can't ask the question.
I got you.
Because that's relevant.
I got you.
Ask the question.
So you got Future.
This dude crazy.
You got Future Hendrix. Net worth $40 million as of last year.
$9 million last year he made.
He made $9 million
in 1 year.
1 year. So he has several children. While throughout his day, he found another woman. They had sex. She got pregnant. They got a baby. She wanted him to take a DNA test. He don't want to do it. She take him to court, force him to do it. All right, cool. Now she wants some child support. At first, she was asking for like 25 G's a month. Cool. Future said, nah, I'm gonna give you 1,000 a month. She said,
real one.
No. She upped it to 53 G's. So, my question to you is, what names you want to ask him?
Is 53 G's too much money? I feel as though it is.
You already know the answer to that question.
Too much money.
But this is exactly why I just said to you
that's why I brought it up.
Y'all brothers need to watch yourself.
I keep hearing 53 ain't enough.
But see,
that ain't what you heard.
That is straight stupidity.
53 bands a month.
Yo.
So look, this was my response.
But he did it to himself.
Yeah, he did.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But this is yo, man. I can't stress this enough. Now I'm gonna put my business out here.
Okay.
When I was coming up, I was raised right. My mom and dad was good. I got 3 brothers. Coming up in the projects, man, I could have went anyway. I did a lot of shit before I hit the straight and narrow.
Right.
You know, I mean, and I was from a good family, so nobody thought that I did some of the things that I did.
Right.
You know, but you just have to watch yourself, man, because I started modeling. That took off. I was getting a lot of notoriety from that. But, you know, to me, being a black man, you can't never put a limit on something. You always got to feel, you never should start feeling yourself. Never.
Right.
Because there's always another level to go to. You know, never get complacent with where you at. Never just feel like, oh, I made it, I can chill. It's always another step to go. You know? So I modeled for a while, and when I first got into the industry, I was kind of homophobic. I ain't play that. You know? If somebody came at me, I had to learn how to deal with that because my career could have been short-lived because of that.
Right.
You know, like, I don't like that, man. You come at me and my first instinct is to jam you up, you know? But you can't roll like that in the industry because if you on set, every day you on set, it's at least one person that's gay on set.
Right.
So you just got to learn how to deal with it. You get to the point and somebody come at you. If you want to thank them for any compliment, you could thank them, but set them straight. Like, I'm not about that life, you know? Once I put that precedence there, all right, that's where it's at. Now, if you want to go beyond that, whatever happens after that, that's on you.
Right.
You know? But so I modeled for a while. Like I said, I started seeing Bill Bellamy do MTV, and it was something that I really wanted to challenge myself and do. So I made my tape. I went and got on BET. I got a gig there. I left here. I moved to DC. I was seeing a young lady at the time here. Not really serious, but, you know, it was what it was. After I got to DC, about a month in, I started getting phone calls on my job from this young lady telling me she was pregnant. Now, real talk, I ain't want to hear that. I was just getting on base, man. It took me till I was 27 to get on base.
He like, damn.
You know what I'm saying? So now I'm on base and I finally get to a starting point, and now I got some other farm factor in my pocket. Like, it just wasn't cool, man.
Right.
You know, and part of that is there's nothing worse than a burned woman, or a woman feels like she's been burned or some kind of way.
Scorned woman.
Yeah, exactly. You know, because then the whole importance of raising that kid goes out the window.
Right.
Yeah.
You know, and I never wanted to be a single dad like that. If I'm gonna have a family, I want to have the real family.
Right, be a
in
part
place.
of it.
But it didn't work out that way. So I had to step up and do what I had to do. To this day, my relationship with my daughter is terrible. And it's because of her mother, really.
You think she like be saying stuff to her to make her?
Well,
not
it's
like
just
you?
I think ultimately she probably wanted me to be with her, and that just wasn't where my mind was or what I was gonna do. And because I wouldn't do that, then I had to deal with X, Y, and Z of her being scorned, her wanting to take me to court for child support. Even though you go to court and have you pay child support and you have visitation rights, they do what they want to do when they feel like doing.
That's a fact.
You know,
when,
and it's just more drama that ends up coming into your life. And by the end, I mean, you might get hurt in the process too, but the one who's going to hurt is that little kid.
Right.
You know, and we as black men, we got to stop that. We got to stop that trend of just having babies by chicks.
Right.
Yeah.
Because when you're not in the household, man, that affects that kid.
That's a fact. I definitely know how that is, because, you know, my kids live in North Carolina. I'm here in Jersey. I'm trying to make it happen. But, you know,
It's rough,
as of
man.
late, I love my baby mothers. I never let them go. No, we all good. I can't complain right now. So, you know,
but
sometimes time heals things, though.
Yeah, that's true. But it's just rough, man. And you really have to watch yourself out here. That's
a fact.
So he should pay that 53 G's?
Hell no.
He gonna have to pay it. If the court tell him he got to pay it, he got to pay it.
I feel like this. This is what I feel like, right? I feel like if you live in a certain lifestyle, and if you can afford to pay whatever $600,000 a year, and you making $9 million a year, I think it's drops in the bucket if you buying Rolls Royces for $600,000,
Right,
buying
but at
chains.
the same time, why are you trying to have your own population?
Right. That's a fact.
You know, it's real dumb, man.
Yeah.
That's 600,000 that you could do something else constructive
Right.
with.
And
I don't even
but
think
it
he's
just
trying
say
to do it.
something
They
about,
just-
bro, because he got like 8 or 9 kids. I'm like, why he doing this?
I can't speak on that, man.
It's
That's-
You know what I'm saying?
It's a lot of but it was a trend
lot of
now.
factors.
It's a trend. Like
Yeah.
you know NBA YoungBoy. You ever
he
heard
got
of
7
NBA YoungBoy?
kids.
Nah.
NBA YoungBoy is the same age as me. I'm 21. He got 4. He got 4 kids.
They said he had 7 kids. I
Up
could have
to
sworn I read
7?
something. It's 7. That
It's 9?
You can confirm
NBA young boy Wowlin. That's what his name should be, young boy
that. You can
Wowlin.
confirm that. Wow.
That's bananas.
And that's gonna be horrible, man, because some of them kids gonna come up in poverty.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I can't even digest that for real.
Yeah, that's ridiculous.
That's crazy.
A lot of different things happened in your time there. How long were you at BET? Give us the year.
Probably it was 3 years. I think I came in around the late 90s.
Like
And
97.
I left like early 2000s.
And how was it being that, you know, a black man owned it then? I know you seen the structure change in the inside, but how did it change? Obviously, we wouldn't really know.
Well, Bob Johnson is a smart businessman, and I have to give him credit for that and credit for creating something for us, you know.
Right.
But there's a lot that goes on within these businesses. Like, for whatever reason, BET had 6 vice presidents.
Wow.
Now,
At the same time, what you saying? Just
they had 6 vice presidents while I was there. And they may have different roles, but still there's 6 vice presidents there.
right.
And I've never been one to play the politics good. Like, when I go to BET, I was still modeling in New York.
Mhm.
So when I first got there, they would fly me down. I would do 5 shows in 3 days. And then I would come back so I can get some modeling work in New York. And then I would go back the following week.
Man, it was grinding.
You was fucking working.
Yo, I had to, man. And then, you know, at some point they was just like, all right, this is over. You got to live here. You got to be here. So I had to get me a place and I had to move to DC. So I did that and that was fine. And then shortly after that, then my baby mama moved down there. And It was 50-50. I mean, it was good that my daughter was close to me, but I didn't want that drama from the baby mama.
Right.
She brought it. She brought the drama to DC.
Yeah.
Said she was calling the set.
Yeah. So, that is something else that you have to deal with while you're trying to move ahead,
Right.
And then when I first got on, I just wanted to get my foot in the door. I didn't care what they was paying me. I just wanted to get my foot in the door because I knew if I got my foot in the door, I could flourish.
Right.
So my first year at BET, I was an employee of BET. That means my first year at BET, they paid me $40,000, which wasn't no money.
Still ain't no money.
For real. And I did every show that I could do on the network. I wasn't getting no extra coins, but I was getting experience like I don't know what. And then I was showing them that I was like a chameleon. You could put me in any situation and I'm gonna adapt, And that's the way it was. And then after learning that first year what I should do, I got off. I wasn't an employee no more, and I was a contractor then. So they hired me as a contractor. So my money went up and everything like that, So then the way I was talking about like playing the politics is that at some point in time, they wanted me to take Donnie's spot. Donnie Simpson was the man when I first got there. Yeah. Donnie had been there for 15 years. Yeah. I looked up to this man like a guy, for real. Donnie was the man. And he had all the fly cars. Donnie had the money. I mean, he was living. Damn. So I would come in and I would see Donnie and he would toss me his keys. Like he had the Land Rovers when they first,
I remember
came up.
First
Land Cruisers when they first came out. So he tossed me his keys. He's like, yo, you can take it around the corner. I was just like, nah, man, I don't want to do this, So during those times, I would sit and watch him and I would learn from him and stuff. And then, he would educate me on how to get paid from BET. So that's what I'm talking about, playing the politics. Like I would just go to work, do my time. When I got finished, I would leave, come back to New York, do what I had to do and go back. So sooner or later, I had to sit down with them to negotiate more money.
Yeah.
But it's like I say, sometimes the things that you think will work for you will work against you. Now, I got some of the vice presidents didn't like me for some reason. I didn't do anything to them. I didn't even really talk to them too much, So now I'm moving into another spot. They wanted me to take Donnie's spot. They had pushed Donnie out the door, basically fired him. And they developed a new show called Unreal. This show was basically we traveled. Whatever was hot, whatever was happening, that's where we were.
Right.
So before we did that show, I had a meeting with my program director, and she was like, we're getting ready to move, and we're going to do this new show. I want you to be a part of this new show, but we're going to shoot a pilot. If you do a good job on the pilot, then we'll talk, and I'll get you whatever I can get you. So I said, fine. We shot the pilot, did my thing on the pilot. They got it back. They loved what I did. So then we sit down. It's like, what are you looking for? I was like, I need at least a 6-figure deal. I know Bill getting 6 figures. I need 6 figures, She's like, okay. She goes, talks to the people that she needs to talk to. She calls me back in the office. She tells me they tell her 70,000, take it or leave it. Now that's straight disrespect to me. After I did everything that I could do, that was my ticket. I just told him I wasn't doing it no more.
Could at least been 5.
I'm ready. I want to roll. So that's when I left.
They tried to play you like you was the help.
Yeah.
70,000.
So, you have to learn like really all sides of any industry that you want to get into, because it all benefits you in the long run.
Right. That was a great story. I appreciate you and your time having you up here and just shedding this light on us about how the industry works.
When his uncle called me, man, and he told me what he was doing, and a lot of young brothers was trying to do their thing, man. That's what I live for, man.
That's big.
As long as brothers is doing the right thing and trying to grow, I'm all for it, man. If I can help out, that's what I do.
Is there anything you think you could give advice to me? I'm 21. I'm going hard in this industry, same way that you said you started. And I know it's a lot of people like me out there that need the game. Like I got one question for you.
Mm-hmm.
When it gets dark, when it gets lonely, when you feel like you're hitting a wall, how do you break through that wall?
That's hard, man. It's hard because everybody is their own individual, number one, you know. When that time happens, that's why I try to tell people who get into this industry that you need a good support group, you know, whether whoever that is, your wife, your girl, your mother, your father, your boy, you just need positive people around you, you know, because it's going to happen. You know, you're going to hit the wall one day and you're going to feel like you are all alone, you know, and it's how you come out of that makes you better in the long run.
It's amazing. And you're absolutely truthful about that.
Thank you, sir.
Nah, anytime, man.
Yeah, we definitely appreciate your
That's
time,
an
man.
OG gem right there.
OG Jim. But I got one more question for you. Like, you said you came from Higher Court. I know you know that's where all the Crips and stuff came from later after you decided.
Yeah, I don't even know about the
Right. You don't even know about the
never experienced.
But I know, you know what I mean, the times that you grew up, it still was a bad place to live. Newark, Irvington.
Yeah,
it was a rough area to live.
Mm-hmm.
How did you see past the fog and just really started wanting to follow your dreams? I know other people were doing it, but a lot of times we always deter to the negative things opposed to just doing what we, you know what I'm saying, what's positive.
Nah, because it was different. The times were really, really different. And what I'm getting at is that I grew up in the projects, right?
Right.
I wouldn't change that for nothing in the world. And the reason being is because you know how they tell you sometimes, y'all like younger, but I know you heard this, that it takes a village to raise a kid.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That projects was that village for me.
Right.
Like just because we lived in the projects the projects that I grew up in wasn't like trash.
Right,
You know?
right.
Like my projects was decent, man. I ain't even had roaches in my house.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But I came from a good family structure, which helped build my base.
Right.
And that is important for every youth. And that's why I say you shouldn't just be having kids out of wedlock just to be having kids or even be making those mistakes because, man, it's important. Those early years are important, man. And you need structure. You need that. And like when I grew up, my mom knew where to find me all the time. I'm out in the back playing ball, whatever sport it was, whatever was going on. If it was baseball season, I was playing baseball. If it was football, I was playing football, basketball, so on, so forth and so on. But when I would get out of line, my boy's mom would see me.
Right.
And she would snatch me up.
Right.
You know, so a lot of what I learned came from the hood, came from the projects. You know, I learned how to fight in the projects.
Right.
You know, and when I was coming up, man, my parents used to dress me nice and send me to school, you know, and you used to have the bullies, you know.
Right.
When I was in fourth grade,
What size shoe you wear?
I fought one kid every day. Every day.
Fourth grade?
Yeah, man, I fought so much coming up through Newark, man. It was crazy. But it helped mold me to who I am today, man. And for that, I wouldn't change any of that.
That's what they say, beauty in the struggle.
Beauty in the struggle.
We appreciate you and your time. This is the 10K report. Give everybody, look at that camera right there. Give everybody Facebook, your Instagram, all your social medias.
Okay, my
platforms.
Facebook is Brett Walker. Instagram is Brett Nevin Walker. And that's it. I only have those two. I only mess with those two. I'm on Twitter, but sparingly.
And what could we look forward to in the future?
Well, actually, I'm trying to get a show up now. I just wrote a treatment for a show. I really don't want to talk about that.
Right.
But I'm trying to get something up. It's just, you know, when I was doing what I was doing, I loved it. I love being in the industry.
Right.
It just gave me a lot of satisfaction. You know, it was work, but it was fun. And it's so important. You know, and it's like, you guys are young. You got time to make mistakes.
Right.
You know, make them while you young, so you can rebound from those and find who you are and who you want to be. You know, so follow your dreams, man. Don't let nobody sell you short, and just do what you can, man.
It is so crazy that you saying that to us and to them, and they say that to me.
You our little brother. What you mean? We've been places.
Nah, I just
we not
I'm
far
only,
as he
I'm
at,
only
but
acknowledging that because y'all say to me like I'm young. He's saying, and I can make mistakes. No, I am young. I'm not saying that I'm not, but you're saying it to them because they still got time to make mistakes.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, I'm still not where I want to be.
Right.
You know?
Like you said, it's always a step.
Yeah.
It's always another.
They say if you ain't growing, you dying.
Exactly.
Right.
Exactly. And if you ain't dreaming no more, you might as well not be living.
Yeah. We appreciate you guys. This is the 10K report.
10K.
We'll keep bringing you great episodes with great legendary people like this guy right here.
Subscribe to the
Welcome.
YouTube channel,
Thank you.
10,000 Hours in Network. Subscribe to Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Tidal. What else we on? Anchor. What else we on?
We on everything.
We on everything. If
Google,
it's streams,
all your
we got
Google
it. I'm telling you,
anything.
we got it.
We on everything everywhere.
10K.
Keep doing
10K
your thing,
report.
brother,
Thank you.
for
We
real,
appreciate
man.
you.
Appreciate you coming on,
I'll
for
be
real.
following.
All right.
For real.
Thank you.
No problem.
And my Twitter was hacked. I gotta holler at them on Twitter.
Oh, wow.
Stole my 25,000 followers.
Get out of here.
Yeah.
Some dude named John Hannon or something.
Hey.
Whew.
Great episode. Thank you very much,
Man, I
man.
appreciate you, bro.
Anytime, man. Anytime.
It was a great episode.